In this video, I'm going to give the exact structure, the exact strategy to print truckloads of cash for your e-commerce business, basically on autopilot. It's something that we've done when I established my e-commerce business in 2013 with my brother, and something we've helped over 200 e-commerce brands as well in our paid Ecom Blueprint community program. So I'm going to go through exactly what this looks like, the structure. I'm going to show you visuals. I'm going to share my screen in a minute and give you everything so you can implement it in your business straight away. So firstly, where do automations fit into the marketing strategy? Okay, so when we talk about email marketing, there's really two main parts. One is automations, which we'll go through. And that means that people are at a particular part in the journey. They get triggered, they get flagged by your email marketing platform, and they get opted into a certain stage and sent a series of emails. The second part is campaigns. So campaigns are probably more the traditional way of thinking about email marketing, where you manually send an email for an offer or a sale, or it might be a particular season throughout the year. And that's done to a particular list or segment that you define at the time, okay? But it's sent manually. There's no automation about it apart from scheduling it in, right? Then also the other consideration is that email automations become an inbound effort, all right? So there's difference between inbound and outbound. So inbound means that someone is coming to you from a particular marketing channel, a particular stimulus, and they're entering that flow. They're actually getting triggered. So you don't actually have control per se about when and where they get triggered, but it is an inbound effort. It's kind of like our website. Our website sits there and people come to us, and that's inbound, okay? Same thing with our social platforms. Whereas outbound is us actively reaching out. So that might be advertising, where we're outbounding impressions to a certain market, or it might be the email campaign, for example, where we're outbounding people for a particular response. Automations are different. They become the inbound effort. And then another really important consideration with email flows and email marketing traditionally is that there's two parts again to email marketing, or the flows as well. Okay, so there's actually the technical setup, right? So actually, what delay, how long do you wait? What if then, there's certain technical things within the flows which we'll actually go through to give you clarity that need to be understood. It's the technical side of the setup within your email marketing platform. And then the second part is actually the creative side. Okay, what does it actually say? What content should I put into that email? And how can I obviously get the best open rates, the best click rates, and ultimately the most amount of sales? So I'm going to share my screen. Let's hop over there and we'll go through it all in depth. Okay, so let's dive straight in. And what I want to show you is really our 5 crucial email flows that you need to have set up, and specific to what is within the structure that I'm going to actually show you. So we'll go through the crucial 5 and then some bonus flows as well that I definitely highly recommend. Okay, at least having 2 to 3 of them, because you'll see how crucial they actually are. Now, like I mentioned before, we need to understand, or the way that automations actually work is then when they get triggered by a certain point in their journey. So let me just give you the example. When I talked about the outbound versus inbound, we're talking about obviously inbound. Okay, the triggers they become automations, the triggers through an inbound effort. Okay, so let's just talk about this. So where can people enter our automation? You've got basically your website, you've got your product page, you've got your add to cart, you've got checkout, and you've got purchase as well. All right, so this is like a customer journey. They would hit each one of these points if they did then go eventually to purchase. Okay, however, where email automations serve a purpose is capturing these people, identifying these people, right? Triggering that point in the buyer journey, and then being able to automate emails at every gap in that customer journey. Okay, so hence the inbound. Like, we can't necessarily control which page they go to, where they add to cart, but we can then interrupt their process or their buyer journey at these certain points in that journey. Even post is where we'll go through as well. So understanding where people are and where they drop off is really, really crucial to certainly the technical setup, but absolutely to the creative setup as well. And I'll give you some examples as we go through it today. So let's jump straight into it. So the first one is a welcome series. You may be familiar with this, but basically when someone joins your email list, they might get prompted via a pop-up on your site. You might even have a lead form going through Facebook, anything like that. But basically the trigger is, when they join your email list or your master list. You can have that defined obviously within your email marketing platform. Okay, so when they get triggered, what we want to do is send them an email straight away. Hey, thanks for signing up. Welcome to the family. Here's 10% off. What have you actually got going on? Okay, then what we can do is basically, if they haven't opened it because not 100% of people open emails generally, or it might go to junk or spam, we can actually resend it after 12 hours. Make sure they got it. Maybe it was a timing thing. Maybe they just didn't take action on it, revisited it. Okay, and then what we want to do is basically follow them up for 24 hours in between each email. Now, that's where most people kind of stop if you have basically any knowledge. However, what we recommend and what we've seen best results with is continuing the flow. So every 7 days, like sending another email once a week as an automation, just just checking in, touching base, seeing how they're going, but also indoctrinating them into your ecosystem, serving that impression. So I've actually got some ideas here. Okay, so this is the purpose. We need to have intent behind every single email. And I recommend that you only have one intent or one topic per email, right? That just really clarifies things for people, makes it very specific. We don't want to have multiple calls to action or multiple basically topics as to not overwhelm or confuse people. Okay, so here's some topics that you can use. You can obviously deliver that welcome discount, as I mentioned. You can say, welcome to the family. You can basically say, hey, here's our best sellers. You can say, hey, follow us on social media. This is how we started. You can start to educate people. Why do you exist? You want to build trust. Okay, so every form of communication, especially through emails, is about indoctrination, right? Building relationships and that trust. So here's some topics that you can actually use and give you some ideas. Now, if you don't have other ideas, you can use ChatGPT. You can use other sources of inspiration. You can also use, competitors as inspiration as well. But the cadence is what I call it, is the really important thing here. The what, 7 to 10 emails, is important for getting the results, because people are not done. We shouldn't give up on people if they've entered our world, our ecosystem, after that 3-day period. Okay, as I say, sometimes people only have that one email and hope that people buy. Very low chance of success. But we want to remind people, in fact, people need to be reminded of our brand, our content, and why they signed up to us in the first place. All right. So our first crucial flow is the welcome series, and you can do the trigger of joins the email list, and then you can actually put a filter, which means people opt out of that list. For example, when they purchase 0 times, so they continue until they actually purchase. The next crucial flow, browse abandonment. So this is the part in the flow here, the funnel here, where they have visited a product and haven't gone any further. Right now, this isn't going to fire for everybody, because it depends on people's privacy settings, their cookies and things like that, where basically your CRM and your website platform can recognize who this person is and send them an email. So this isn't going to fire 100% of the time for people who abandon the page, the product page, but we want to put it on just in case, because this gets sales. Like, trust me on this, it gets absolute sales. Okay. So when someone views a product, and the filter we can put on here is that they place an order 0 times. That's meant to be placed order 0 times, right? Since starting the flow, started checkout since starting the flow, has not been in this flow last 15 days. All right. So that's what the filter is. Okay. Now the intent here is that they viewed a product. So we want to just nudge, lightly nudge. Like, you think about intent, the welcome's like, hey, welcome, this is our world. You get down the funnel as of intent. You want to use these, and you'll see the prompts as I show them. Okay. But we want to nudge people. So, hey, this is what other people have said. This is the product you were looking at. This is why it's great and, differentiates you from other people. We want to use risk reversal, use incentives where we possibly can. All right. And we want to use about 4 to 6 emails here. Again, not just one email. And honestly, most people they don't have any on this actual flow. Okay. But this is what we want to look like. So trigger 1 to 3 hours. Hey, do you have any questions about this particular product? We saw you looking at this product. Again, go through these, intent models. Another day goes by, send another email, another day goes by, another day. And then what you can do after 3, 4, 5 days is, if they haven't purchased from you either at all or specifically here in the last, 60 days, then you can send them a great offer, right? Say, hey, 50% off, 30% off, whatever it actually might be, because it's a bird in the hand. They're obviously interested. They're obviously looking at you. Okay. I've actually got an example here too. You can use something like this. Did you forget something? Here's the product you're looking at. Are you still interested? Here's the product you're looking at. We're here to help. That kind of intent is that nudge that I spoke about. All right. So then the third one, abandon checkout. So again, looking at the funnel here, they've gotten to the checkout stage, but they haven't actually purchased. So the abandon checkout. So we've got website, abandon the browse abandonment, and then abandon checkout at this point. Okay. So what we want to be doing at the checkout is being a bit more pushy. Okay. They've abandoned the checkout. They're literally just about to put their credit card details in. Okay. So the trigger here is when someone starts the checkout, placed order is the filter, and they haven't been in the flow for 7 days. Okay. We want to push them. So remind them, scarcity, urgency, social proofing, again, risk reversals, product information. Why should they care about you? And incentives as well. We want to get them over the line. Like, they're just there. So we need to get them over the line. Okay. So again, this one looks pretty similar to the the browse abandonment. Okay. But we're a bit more high intent and a bit more pushy, so to speak. All right. So email 1, same time period, another day. And then at the same time down here, as I mentioned, strong offer. You can have a stronger offer, right? Really, like, basically nothing to lose type offer to get them back into the ecosystem and to eventually purchase from you. A couple of examples here, similar to the browse abandon, but as I say, a bit more pushy, a bit more aggressive. You can say, the cart, obviously. And, you can see how short and sweet these are. Visual, hardly any words, to be honest with you. And some other options, especially the social proofing is perfect, because it gives that FOMO kind of mentality as well. All right. And obviously you can put, as I say, that offer in there. Then the next one is post-purchase. Okay. So going back to the funnel here, they've just purchased. All right. We want to make them feel good. All right. So the triggers here is obviously they've just purchased. Now, what you'll notice here is several different emails based on their parameters. So this is what we call a segment. So say they've purchased 1 time, they've purchased 2 times, they've purchased 3 times, they've purchased 4+ times. You can have a different email based on their actual part of the, again, journey with you. Okay, so this can be, hey, thanks for your first purchase. We're so happy to have you here. Hey, thanks for purchasing again. And then the 4th one can be, hey, you're an absolute VIP. We love you so much. Thank you for being part of it. Okay, so we want to reaffirm and reiterate. We want to thank them sincerely. Okay, we want to just basically show gratitude. And then there is an opportunity to actually lightly upsell. Now, we don't want to, as I say, spam them or anything like that, but it's more about, hey, you just bought this. How about consider this? Or this is most likely bought with this. It's a light upsell that they can say, hey, we can pop it in, and you won't obviously be charged shipping because we'll send it with the same package as already bought. Okay, so there's a chance there. But again, thinking with intent here, after a day or 2 days, we want to get them excited. Okay, we want to enhance their experience. You can educate them about how to use the product properly, for example. All right, reaffirming the decision is huge to show that other people love it. Like, people buy something and sometimes they have buyer's remorse. So we want to be able to reaffirm their purchasing decision. And then after they've used their product, you should have a reviews app going anyway, something like judge.me that will send an email automation as well from that platform. But there's no harm in putting it in this flow as well to get their review after that amount of time. I'd rather show it 2 or 3 times to people than them not see it at all and happen to miss it. All right. So that's where we can put the review in there as well. Now, I've got an example here. So for example, the juice cleanse, similar to, Karmic, obviously you've got this, it's cleanse time. Here's how to prep. Here's what you need to do. Here's some tips. Okay. Thanks for your purchase. Like, we love you so much. As I say, like, you want to really make them feel good and affirm their purchase. The job's on as a brand perspective is not done just because we got their money in the bank. All right. So make the intent here, enhancing their experience. Again, building trust and authenticity. And then once they get the product, they're going to absolutely love it. Okay. So that's the 4th one. And then the 5th crucial one is called a win back. What this basically means that they did purchase. As you can see here, they placed order 60 to 120 days ago. And this is going to depend on your product and call it the lifespan or the again, customer cycle here when they might buy from you. If it's not the same product, an alternative product, an upsell, a cross sell, it doesn't matter. We want to be in the ballpark of and be in the top of their inbox all the time. So that's the parameters there, of course. Now, the intent here is to re-engage, encourage the repeat buys, as I mentioned, replenish. If it's a consumable, for example, like a juice cleanse, okay, want to give recommendations, gifting ideas, incentives. If they can't buy it themselves because they've got a lifetime, warranty with the product that they've bought, it could be the gift for somebody else, someone loved one, someone else that needs it. Okay, we just want to put ideas in their minds. Now, this again is quite a lengthy one. We want to stay at top of their mind for a long period of time. Now, as I say, the trigger is that they purchased and then they wait 60 days to 120 days, again, depending on the life cycle there. You can use your own SKU there. Send them an email to re-engage. All right, then every 5 days, we want to send them an email saying, hey, just checking in. Hey, did you see this product? Hey, here's a great gifting idea for dad or mom or, the babies or whatever it might be. Just give them ideas. Okay, be creative here. It's going to be treading softly. And then at the point of the 4th email where, you're at day 20 or 25, you can offer them an incentive just to come back. Again, it's bird in the hand, right? They've bought from you before. This is costing you nothing apart from your subscription, obviously, to your email platform, but it's costing you nothing. So every sale that we get in addition is just profit. Okay, basically profit, because it's not costing us a cent to get this person back to purchase from us. All right, so that's the flow there. And as I say, continue this for 5 to 10 emails. Don't be shy with what you're supposed to be, how often you're supposed to be communicating, right? Volume matters. Trust me on that. As I say, that's how you can print cash, truckloads of cash with email automations. Okay, so they're the crucial 5. All right, we went through the crucial 5 and I'll show you some bonuses now, okay, that I would recommend anyway. So you've got your welcome series, you've got your browse abandonment, you've got your abandon checkout and your post-purchase and your win back. Okay, now let me just grab this for a second. I'll show you where the bonuses fit in as well. All right, so here are the additional flows and this is where they fit in. So site abandonment. Now this is again a bit like browse abandonment here where they've viewed a product, but this actually fits in here. So this is the site abandonment here where they've actually visited your site. They haven't done anything else but look at the homepage perhaps, and they are triggered by, as I say, a cookie or some sort of tracking, and they get sent an email saying, hey, we saw you checking us out, come back, have a look at the products. These are our best sellers. These are happy customers. That's what a site abandonment actually is. Okay, so it's where they haven't even looked at anything or progressed down the funnel whatsoever. Really valuable, really powerful. I'll definitely recommend having that on. Okay, the abandoned cart, similar to checkout, but it's one step back, one step removed. Okay, they've just added to cart, they haven't checked out. Now bear in mind that 68% of people abandon cart, like that they don't purchase. So that's a KPI. So there's a 7 out of 10 chance there to be able to send them an email automation sequence to get them back around. Now that will be similar to the browse abandonment, it's similar similar to the abandoned checkout. You don't have to reinvent wheels here too much with the actual content that you're sending. Okay, I showed you the examples. The important thing is the timing and the cadence of those emails. You might have a VIP flow when they do purchase more than 4 or 5 times, for example. You might introduce them to, hey, like this is now what you're a part of the VIP club, and you do get special discounts and offers, and you can use that in your campaigns, your manual efforts, to send them special sales and discounts or pre-purchase, or give them, ask for feedback about a particular product, for example. Okay, a sunset one, that's basically to clean out your list. So you might have an automation that says, hey, after 120 days of someone not engaging, are you still interested? Are you still here? If not, we're going to unsubscribe you or suppress your profile, and therefore you won't receive any more correspondence. That's always good to wake people up sometimes. Okay, that's a good one to have on, and you could have 2 or 3 of those in a very light, respective way, right? We don't want to be cheeky or rude by any means, that they haven't engaged. People are busy. We have to respect that. We just want to kind of bump them again, like, hey, it's all cool if you're not engaged, but if you are, keep respond to this email or stay on the list. You might have a button there, for example. Okay, this one might be an asset or lead magnet. So this might be like lead generation. All right. So what happens, even we've got this on, is basically someone might get a prompt from an email, or it might actually be from a lead magnet, like a Facebook ad, for example, or you might have a landing page on your website, and they sign up to a list to get a lead magnet. Now that will be the trigger. Then they get a flow of the actual lead magnet. Then they get subsequent emails as well to warm them up and introduce them. Okay, that's what a lead magnet actually is. This is a really cool one, anniversary or birthday, but anniversary, say, of their first purchase. So you can actually tag or trigger the date that they purchased, set it for 365 days where they get another email that says, hey, it was a year ago you purchased from us for the first time. Thank you for being a customer. We love you. Here's an incentive, or if you wanted to, or something else, like just a genuine thank you. Okay, that's a really good one that does get sales. And then ongoing upsells as well. So again, you can scatter these throughout the automations, but you might have somebody like a segment. So it's like they bought this particular product, right? And the next obvious purchase is this. So that can be an automation. Okay, just think about the sequence of how your purchasers buy and what they buy next or together. And that is an obvious upsell, cross-sell. All right, so there's some really, really crucial ones. So we've been through them all. This is obviously a crash course, but a lot of CRMs, a lot of email automation tools or platforms will actually give you the basis of it. So it will basically give you the trigger. It might give you the first 1 to 2 steps in the process, but it will never go beyond that. Okay, this is way more advanced stuff. This is 7 and 8 figure business owner thinking, right? And now you have obviously the tools and the resources here, the know-how to go and implement it yourself. All right, so that's everything within that. And I really hope you obviously got value from seeing this visually. This is stuff we go through with obviously our paid clients and our paid community. So guys, that's it. I've been through, the exact playbook, the exact strategy that we use, 7-figure brands, e-commerce brands use, and you can go and implement that right now. Now, there is just one more major thing to consider here. I mentioned that email automations are that inbound, right? They come from a particular source. So either side of that, there's one thing that's really important to consider. One is the traffic, okay? If you have no traffic, if no one's coming to your site inbound, then obviously no one's going to be put into the automations. So if no one's put into the automations, no one's receiving emails, no one's going through the flows, that obviously means that no one's going to ever convert because no one's in there. Okay, so you need to consider the traffic source, what's coming in, and be able to have a successful traffic source to get success with your automations. So that basically goes traffic, automations, and then on the other side is our conversions. Okay, our conversion rate, how well people are converting. Now again, separate from the automations, your conversions being your website optimization, your price point, your products, how you're actually selling yourself and your products determines the success of the automation, right? So a lot of the time when we say, oh, automations don't work, it's basically one or two of those things, or even sometimes both. People just don't get enough traffic, therefore not enough emails are being sent out through the automations, and or people aren't converting on site and therefore the automations appear unsuccessful. Really, it's the cause and effect of those two things either side of the automation. So hopefully that makes sense. Look guys, I've gone through everything I know in my 13 years experience, with you today to do with email automations, the best practices, of course, how to print a truckload of cash with automations. I genuinely mean that people have succeeded so much and so well with this, it blows their socks off. So I hope you got value from it as well. If you did, if you need some help with your e-commerce business, I've got a link down below. You can click on that, you can see what we do. And if you might be a good fit for what we do and we think we can help you out, we'll obviously invite you into our program. But if not, no stress. It's just good to check out what we can do and how we could help. But if you did enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe, and be sure to drop a comment below if you've got other suggestions of content that I can produce that would be helpful for you guys. But other than that, I genuinely thank you for being here. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Again, the most important thing is that you got value. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.